Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and David here with you. About 30 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you again so much for all of you out there being with us. Going to go to the phone line and welcome in a very special guest, Coach Butch Thompson of the Auburn Baseball team. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time for us.
Absolutely. War Eagle, man. It's an exciting time to get to visit with you.
Absolutely. War Eagle, thank you so much. Well, let's just talk about this Auburn team. A good year, a very good year for Auburn. It's not easy. I don't think people understand how difficult it is just to have a winning record in the league. But one of the things that I was kind of struck by is, this year it's not uncommon for baseball teams to have a lot of turnover in college baseball, but you brought in a lot of guys from the transfer portal. You got a lot of freshmen contributing. But it seems like the chemistry is just really good with this team. Is that uncommon? And what do you do to facilitate that? Hey, Coach, you with us?
Yeah, I got you. Breaking up a little bit.
Okay, sorry about that. If you can hear me, you got the chemistry seems really good on this team, even though you got a lot of new parts and freshmen. Is that uncommon? And what do you do to kind of facilitate that?
Well, it's a new day and time, right? We've talked about NIL. I'm sure you guys are talking about it a lot. The transfer portal. This is a new day and time to figure out, and I'll give our players a lot of credit. It really starts with like a Brody Moore, a Case and Howell, guys that have been on our program for 4 years. Those guys have allowed new players to come in and got them immediately acclimated, and a couple of these additions have been unbelievable for us. Blake Rambush leads the SEC in hits, and then Sonny DeShare wound up being the co-SEC Player of the Year. So it's worked pretty well for us in this inaugural year with all these transfers.
Coach, David here. First of all, I'm proud to call you my friend. We appreciate everything you've done for our family through the years, even though DJ didn't end up at Auburn. And I just love what you're doing from a culture and a leadership standpoint. They're building men at Auburn. And I firmly believe that has a lot to do with the success that you've been having. But the one-run games this year, we all agonized with you last year with the bullpen and the one-run games, and that thing's kind of flipped this year. So talk a little bit about Tim and the pitching staff. And, when I saw Joseph last year against UAB, I said, good grief, this kid's something special. Just talk about the pitching staff and those changes with Tim and you this year and the guys.
Yeah, now that we're able to replace last season, guys, you understand, it's like, man, four of the last 5 years are what we're expecting, right, for Auburn baseball. And but a great job of bouncing back. You talked about the UAB game with Joseph last year. That was a glimpse of what he could do. And now we're seeing that on a more consistent basis this year. And then, to me, Blake Burkhalter, the SEC saves leader with 13, being able to finish ball games was huge. And then, really, you look at our position players, and we've had 20 come-from-behind wins this year. That's just a good character. Going through adversity sometimes makes you stronger, and nobody wants to go through a season like last year. But, man, we gave the proper response starting in August, building this team, bringing some pieces in, like we mentioned, a guy that holds it down in the back end. And, somebody like Joseph that's been a really good starting pitcher, and Trace Bright has clicked in, and Hayden Mullins did a great job till he went down basically with injury, and then we wound up able to put Mason Barnett in that role. So we've had a competitive starting rotation. Some bullpen pieces have helped along the way, and these guys absolutely found themselves on the right side of the one-run games this year.
Coach, nobody's got an easy road, but can you give us a little scouting report about UCLA and Florida State and Southeast Louisiana? Yeah,
Florida State's making their 44th regional in a row. Let that one sink in on you for a minute. And this will be the 12th NCAA regional that Auburn and Florida State find themselves in the same field of 4. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And, they got a nice club. They have an electric special number 1 pitcher. Man, I sure hope they throw him against UCLA Friday morning at 11 o'clock at Plainsman Park. But they are really headlined by their pitching. They've got 57 home runs, which is good number. It's not what we've been seeing, quite in the SEC with some teams like Tennessee hitting over 130 home runs. But they got a nice ball club, and they're led by pitching. UCLA is making a long travel out, and it'll be the first time UCLA's ever played a baseball game on our campus. I think that's neat. They scored 25 runs in their conference tournament. The Pac-12 had a conference tournament this year against Stanford, who is a national seed in that top 8. And the last time I played UCLA was for a national championship as a pitching coach at Mississippi State, and got to that final series with UCLA. And, of course, they beat us in that series to win a national championship. So I'm looking forward to competing against those guys again. And then Southeast Louisiana absolutely may be the hottest team. I think they're one game over 500. But whenever you go win your conference tournament and you go all the way through that, you're hot. And so, the Auburn Tigers got to face a hot team that just won a conference tournament. And I think, us being the 14th national seed, we got a tough draw. We got two what you would call branded blue blood college baseball teams that are steeped rich in tradition. And we got a hot team from Louisiana who, is going to have to be dealt with right off the bat.
Coach, that's funny you mentioned that Florida State. Andy and I had already mentioned that on the show before we got you on, hoping that Florida State ace would throw Friday morning at 11 o'clock. And we'll hope for some jet lag from UCLA and Southeast Louisiana. I just, let's get that first one. Baseball, as you know, is a crazy game, and anything can happen. We watch with interest the NCAA. Good to see 9 teams from the conference in the field, And 4 hosts? Is it 4 hosts? Or and then 5 travel. But, man, once again, man, we appreciate you being on the show today. Love you, brother, and glad you're our baseball coach at Auburn. And we're going to party like it's 1999 on Sunday, I hope.
Well, that's the plan. I just appreciate all the support. Our fans have been amazing. You've been part of that, David, and your friendship, that Operation atmosphere. It's kind of priceless in how you can reward a fan base, but having a regional on your campus is my way of tipping our hat to our fans that stepped up to the plate for us and created a sellout for Plainsman Park this year. And, we hooked it up in, here just a couple of years ago in 2019. We'll absolutely do everything in our power to make that happen again.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck. Hopefully the bats will heat up and the pitching will be wonderful. And we look forward to maybe Auburn moving on to, well, who knows? Maybe we can be hosting a Super Regional. You never know what happens.
Yeah, but we're Auburn. And, you see it in our other sports. And this is time. We've been working at this for absolutely 7 years to get to this point. We wanted to check this box with hosting a regional. Been to Omaha, been to 2 Supers. And, this is time for this program to start saying the word national championship and believing in it. And so that's our goal, and we're going to fly this thing as fast as we can.
Absolutely. That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Coach.
Have a great day.
Thanks,
you do
Coach.
As well.
I'll see you Friday.
Yes, sir.
Butch Thompson, Auburn baseball coach, tremendous job he's doing, and hopefully Auburn will be able to take care of business on Friday. Looking forward to that.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after these messages.